This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome back to the program. Now, we'd love to get your questions on mental health and COVID-19, particularly the effect of the pandemic on children. And we're talking about this because tomorrow at Sharjah's House of Wisdom, Doctors Without Borders, known as MSF, are going to be hosting a special workshop with explanations and engaging activities on how children can not only learn about how the virus works, but also cope with its impacts. And in line with that, we are delighted to have with us on Zoom Michelle Cunanan. She's the Regional Communication Manager at the Southeast and East Asia and Pacific Project. She's working on this activity. Good morning. You're live on the air with us.
Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your show.
Thank you very much for coming in. Let's start talking about this activity, the MSF COVID-19 activity book. What is it all about, and how did this start?
Okay, so just to let you know, so basically this activity book is called What Can You Do About COVID-19? So it is an activity book that's geared for children ages 5 to 9 years old. And it's basically a way for us to help parents in terms of explaining about the pandemic to their children. So the reason why we did this is because we know for a fact that, a lot of children have actually been impacted by this pandemic. However, somehow, parents are also like having a hard time explaining what this COVID-19 is all about to their kids. And, even for us adults, there's because basically the COVID-19 is entirely new, right? Like it's something that just happened in 2020, and we until now, we don't really understand it fully. So we're still looking for information, scrambling for information about it. And so even the children, they do not understand what it is about. And so that's why we came up with this particular book. So this activity book is actually quite, very interactive. So it has a lot of activities that kids can do. So kids can color the pages, they can answer puzzles, they can connect dots, they can crack codes, they can draw, etc. So there's a lot of things that they can do, while at the same time, they're also learning about COVID-19. They're also learning how they can get the virus, how they can possibly protect themselves, with the different protocols that are being followed. And then most importantly, with this particular activity book, we also tried to surface the feelings of the children, what they're scared about of this pandemic, what are their hopes and dreams. And so it's very interactive. We also have guides for parents to talk to their children about COVID-19. So yes, this is what this activity book is about. And we're very glad actually that Sharjah's House of Wisdom is collaborating with us to be able to bring about this workshop for parents and their children.
Let's dissect this more further, the mental health aspect of this conversation. Now, teachers and mothers, they're definitely concerned about the emotional toll the pandemic has taken on their children. And it definitely can affect them in how they do in school and how they do in their everyday activities and their interactions with their family, their friends, in life in general. So can you talk about what is the effect of the pandemic really on children's mental health, and how can they overcome it and the challenges of it?
Yes. Well, actually, in terms of the effect of the pandemic on the mental health of children, well, technically, it's really different from one child to the next, and even for adults, it's really different. Because, there are children, for example, in many of the projects where we work, in many areas of the world where we are, you have children who are, affected by conflict already, for example, or they're already suffering from poverty and malnutrition and other diseases. And then you have COVID-19. So it adds on to the distress that they're feeling. And in general, for I would say like more in areas such as Dubai, or like where I am now in Hong Kong, like it can also be a little bit different because you have kids who have not actually been going to school. I've heard from my colleagues that in Dubai, for example, like kids have not been able to go to school for already like for a year and a half already.
That's right.
And so it's also like a little bit different. Like even going back to school, they have their anxiety as well, and just staying at home, not being able to connect with friends, it really impacts them. So it's really quite hard to say like very generally like what are the impacts. But I would say that for each person, for each child, it's different. But what's important is that we provide support, not just to the child but also to the parents, because it's I think it would be great if it's really a collaboration of the child, the school, the community. Like us, for example, like we're doing this workshop because we want to support in whatever way that we can, in order to help the children with regard to their mental health. And during our workshop in itself, like we also have a mental health specialist present, and so she will actually be providing some tips for parents, some exercises that they can perhaps follow even prior to going back to school. So yeah.
This is exciting. Well, in terms of, what are you planning here in the Emirate of Sharjah? I'm sure that your team and spokespeople such as Valencia are looking forward to this discussion. As per your plans, tomorrow here in the Emirate of Sharjah, what do we have planned? Because I can see that you've got an activity book to get the children involved with. Talk us through the plan for tomorrow and who can attend this workshop.
Okay, so basically the plan is we just want to ask parents to especially I would like to invite the parents who are listening now, if they can actually just go to the website of House of Wisdom and to sign up for themselves and their children. So we definitely encourage you to. So for the parents out there, we definitely encourage you to sign up now and to bring your kids, because actually we will have some copies of the activity book that will be available for kids to work on. We have printed copies which are in English. However, we also have a version that's in Arabic. Those can be downloaded by the parents themselves. But during the workshop tomorrow, the parents can actually the children and the parents can work together on the activity book that's in English.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great to see this initiative taking place. And one question that I'm curious about, having worked in this and held these events and such, can you talk to us about maybe what you as an organization have observed so far in children? Because we live in a very anxious climate. People are afraid, and kids tend to be hypersensitive to what their adults around them are doing. So do you think that the climate we're in is making things a lot worse for kids, and it's a real challenge even hosting an event like this to get kids to break through that and feel a lot more safe and comfortable in their environments?
Yes, I'm sorry, I haven't. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, so I'm asking about the environment that we're in. It's a very anxiety-driven environment because there's a lot of fear about COVID-19, and kids are sensitive to that. So can you talk to us about how such workshops help alleviate and ease that fear?
Yes. Well, the reason why we're having this workshop is really to surface what the kids are feeling, what their thoughts are with regard to not just the pandemic, but living in a different environment nowadays from what they're used to, and just being cooped up because of all the restrictions. So that's the reason why we're having this workshop, so that we're able to do that, and we're able to also provide them with tips on what they can do. So it's tips for both the parents and the children. So like tomorrow, we will be joined by a mental health specialist who will be talking about what the parents can do and what the children can do. The most important part really is how the parents can actually support their kids, and also able to understand more in terms of their fears and anxieties. And we think that that's really the most crucial part of having all these workshops.
Well, we got a text here from Abu Ali asking if you have any tips for parents right now. If you could share a quick tip with us this morning for how to manage the impacts of COVID on their children?
Okay. Well, first of all, I guess one of the simple things is really just to talk to the child and try to understand what their fears are, what they think, and try to address those fears. I think that's really very important. And the second one is to create a routine for the child. Even if the child is just staying at home because they cannot go out due to COVID, then you can create a routine in which there's a space there for learning, there's a space for playing, and everything. So things like that, very simple stuff that you can do. But I think just the fact that that you talk to the child and try to understand the fears, and try to have fun as well. We think that's also very crucial in terms of addressing the anxieties of children.
Well, it's been a very fruitful discussion, and we wish you all the very best tomorrow morning for that all-important workshop. And if you could give the parents a little bit of a reminder in terms of what are the timings and how do they need to register, or can they walk in? A few more details about the workshop tomorrow here in Sharjah.
Yes. So once again, I would like to invite the parents to go to the website of House of Wisdom so that they can register for themselves and also to register their kids to join our workshop tomorrow. And then at the same time, I also would like to encourage you. I also would like to encourage everyone to just visit our website as well if they want to. Download a copy of our activity book. So yes, tomorrow the workshop is happening at 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. So we hope that they will be able to get there in time and to join us and have fun with us tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Polly, for joining us this morning.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. And this is all about mental health for children. If you'd like more information, head over to houseofwisdom.ae. That is houseofwisdom.ae for more information on this workshop. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. We'll wrap up the show, give you a bit of a traffic update, and get into the latest from the Emirate of Sharjah right here on the Morning Majlis.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.